Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and we're gonna make some individual like TV dinners. So it's all gonna be homemade. You'll love this, especially those of you who have just one or two in your family. This is for you. And those who do have bigger families, you can just make this in bigger amounts. But we're gonna do the TV dinner. So what we're gonna do, oh my goodness, I got more. They had pork. Remember I did the breaded pork chops for my freezer. They still had it on sale. I got two more. My daughter said, oh my gosh, grab me one, I'll pay you back. So I got one for her. In fact, this is the one I'm gonna cut up for her. And hers, we're gonna do some more breaded and some stuffed pork chops with all these. So she's gonna get some and then we're gonna do the rest. These are wonderful. So we're gonna cut this baby up. I should have done this in the sink. We're gonna toss that in our trash. Oh, thank goodness it's not summer out. I wash my hands. Anyway, friends, we're gonna do the TV dinners. I'm gonna do meatloaf. We gotta make mashed potatoes. We're gonna do all the prepping for it and then put it together. So we're gonna do all the pork chops. We're gonna cook everything first, of course, because it is for a quick TV dinner. We're doing meatloaf. We're gonna do stuffed pork chops. We're gonna do Salsbury steak. So we're gonna have fun. But the first thing I want to do is get this cut up, and then I can just get these laid out in my sun porch where it's nice and cold. Okay. So I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna cut them about 3/4 of an inch thick. And I might just take these ends and cut those up for like sweet and sour pork. But I'm going to cut them about 3/4 of an inch. And I've got two of them to cut. So I'll get these all cut up. This one's fatty, but they're beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. I think this is about the fattiest pork loin I've had so far. But these will make good stuffed pork chops. Now, I don't want to, stuff them so far. I stuff them clear to Alaska, but I don't want them real thick. I'm going to get them about like 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick, and then just make a small pocket and stuff, like a serving size of stuffing in there. And they'll be wonderful. I'm going to cut quite a bit of that fat off. I'll leave just a little bit on. It'll keep that pork nice and moist. All right, now I have got two of these to cut up. So I want to just stack them there because I am going to need to cut some of the fat off this one. This one's real fatty. And then once I get these done, we can go ahead and get busy stuffing them and get them in the oven. The ones that we're going to use in our TV dinners. The rest we'll just package up individually unbaked. I want to tell you something too. Mr. Brian, you sent this to me. I love this thing. I'd like to get more. I don't know where you got it, but I love it. I have used it. It's like, it's pretty war. It sharpens my rod of knives beautifully, and I love it. That's about the best gift somebody could have given me. Thank you, Brian. And I also got the recipe you sent me, Brian. The not cowboy casserole, cowboy stew. I don't remember, but I got it, and I'm going to try it. All right, we're going to trim some of the fat off this. That's good. Set them in there. This is just so easy to do. I don't want to cut all of it off, so I want some of it left on there. This would be good to, one of these fatty pork loins would be nice for sausage making. See, I'm leaving just a little bit on there. Just a little. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna get both of these cut and ready to go. And then we'll get busy putting this together. Okay, friends, I got this first one cut up all into nice chops, and I also have it trimmed. That's all the fat I got off that. I'm not throwing that out. I'm not cooking it up for the chickens. I'm gonna save this because this would be perfect when when I make my sausage or like my brats. I use the pork butt when I do that, or pork shoulder, and it's never fatty enough, so I'm always having to go to my local butcher to see if he has any fat or anything that I could mix in with it. This is perfect. I'm not throwing it out. It's going right in the freezer. It's nice, clean fat. It'd be perfect to use to add to my sausage. So we're saving that. I don't know how fatty the next one is, but this one will be perfect. Beautiful. And then this I got cut up for, we're just gonna put this in the freezer because when I do more freezer meals, I might do a sweet and sour pork or a pork stir fry. I'll use this. So I'll label these, get all the air out. I'll label those accordingly, and those will go in my freezer. Okay, friends, these are all cut up. These are gonna go out my sun porch where it's nice and cold. It's like a refrigerator up there. I think it's 30 degrees in my sun porch. It's cold out there. Anyway, these will stir out there just fine until we're ready to start putting them together. I got 2 bags of that beautiful pork fat. Those are going in my freezer because we will be making brats. And we love making brats. And then I've got the pork stew meat that's going in the freezer. So once I get this put away, we're going to get busy and we're going to do our meatloaf. Okay, friends. I have got, maybe I don't need to cut this. There. I have got my burger here. We're going to do some barbecued meatloaf. And we're going to put them single serving for our TV dinners. We're going to cook them in my jumbo muffin pan. Okay? So I got about 2 pounds of burger here. And to that, we're going to set there with the, actually I'll cut the onion up last. We're going to add a good 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/2 teaspoon, maybe about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to put 1 egg in here. Okay. We're also going to do 1 cup of barbecue sauce. And I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's. I'm going to take that off there. Okay. Watch this. My husband was shaking ketchup like that one day and shook it, and it went all over the dogs. My daughter's dogs were here. It was hilarious. That was years ago. We're going to do 1 cup of the barbecue sauce. Beautiful. Okay. Now, all right. Not wasting any. Okay, now with that, we're going to cut up this onion. And I got a medium-sized onion. going to cut it up fairly small. Now you can use fresh minced garlic in this if you choose, but I just used my garlic powder. Okay? And we're just going to get our hands dirty. We're going to mix this all up. And those jumbo muffin tins, that's a perfect size for one serving. I think we need some more breadcrumbs in here. Just a few. Watch this. So don't get everything all icky. We're going to do a little bit more. I should have probably put a whole cup in there. It works. There we go. That was what I needed. I usually use stovetop, but because I'm doing a barbecue recipe, I don't want to use a stovetop. All right, we're set to go here. Just form them in a ball and drop them in there. That one can use a little bit more. That one has too much. I want them level. Then I'll have enough. And what I got left over, I'll just use that for Mr. Wayna's dinner and make him a nice big burger out of it. I'll wash my hands, put that away. We'll get this put in the oven. Okay, now we're going to set our oven to 350. And I'm going to leave my little tray in there in case this all runs over. So we're going to put that in. It doesn't matter if your oven is not preheated. The only time that's going to matter is when you're doing baked goods, like breads and rolls and stuff like that, because they can cook longer and burn. Isn't going to hurt the meat. Okay, friends. So all I'm going to do here, we're going to do our stuffed pork chops. So I am just going to prepare this stuffing. I'm using like stovetop stuffing, and I'm using the seasoned kind, which is what I always buy. I'm just going to prepare this according to the package, okay? Okay, friends, that is boiling. So we're just going to cut our packages open and get them in there. All the spices are in there with them. That's wonderful. Okay, we're just going to mix this. We're going to turn this heat off. Mix that around so everything is soaked. Beautiful. We're going to put the lid on that and set that aside. Okay, friends, while that is sitting aside, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to make a little pocket. And I'll show you this inside our pork chop. You don't want to go all the way through. You just want a nice little pocket in there. Just like so. Make sure you don't go all the way through, but there's a nice pocket. See that? Beautiful. We're going to do that with all of them. Now, we got our stuffing here. We're going to need to let this cool down a little bit so we can handle it. Okay? So we're just going to let that sit there and cool down. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our glaze for the top of our pork chops. You're going to want a good 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. To that, we're going to want to put about a good teaspoon of rosemary in there. We're going to want this is a 1/4 teaspoon. So, and then we're going to do a nice bunch of garlic for the top of our pork chops. We're going to mix this up because that's what we're going to coat the top of our chops with. Okay, now all we got to do is let this cool down a little bit. I could give it a try and see if we can get one stuffed. There we go. We got it. And this, what's left over, is not going to go to waste because off camera I will be stuffing extras. Let's see, I want it to go that way. I'm going to stuff as many of those chops as I can from the one pork loin. See how beautiful those are? But this is easy to do. And these are wonderful. There we go. And we got them all in there. See that in our pan? Beautiful. Okay, friends. We're just going to coat the tops of these with this oil and all these beautiful spices. And be generous with it. It'll help to keep that pork chop nice and moist and beautiful. There we go. These, friends, are going to get covered and they're ready for the oven. Okay, friends, we are going to get these covered and get these put in the oven. And these are going to go, I'm going to keep a close eye on them. I want to say at least a half an hour with that stuffing in them, but I want them to reach 165 degrees. Okay? We're also going to take a meatloaf out and check the temperature of that. These go in. Look at those, look wonderful. All right. Nope, they're not quite done yet. They got a little ways to go. Okay, those need to go back in. Okay, friends, I stuffed a bunch more. And I am slathering them with this oil that we put together, the seasoned oil. And I am freezing those for later. And I'm wrapping them individually. Just like so. Perfect. That way you can put them in the freezer uncooked. And you can just put them in your oven at 350, even frozen, and cook them until they reach 165. So I'm going to get the rest of these all coated and packaged. And our meatloaf is done, and by that time our pork chops will be all cooked. Okay, friends, these turned out beautiful. So these are going to cool for a while out in my sun porch, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our Salisbury steaks. Okay, friends, we're going to put together our Salisbury steak, and that's the last thing we need to put together. You can see my pot on the stove. I got my potatoes all done. And we're gonna do the entree, potatoes, and a vegetable in our TV dinners. Okay? So first thing I'm gonna do is I wanna slice onions. I'm not gonna put any onions in my burgers because I'm gonna put it in the sauce. Okay? And mushrooms. These are going to be wonderful. So I got to get all these onions cut up. I don't want to slice down. I want them whole. There we go. I got it. All right. All we're going to do with these, I'll show you, is I think I'm going to go on 2. They're going to be about 1/8 of an inch thick, just enough to make nice rounds. Okay? And I'm going to slice the mushrooms kind of thick as well. There we go. It's going to be a lot of onions, but it'll be good. All right, we don't need that anymore. We're going to start cutting our mushrooms, and I'm just going to slice them fairly thick. Throw them right in there. So, I'll get these all done. Okay, we can put those all in this bowl. All right, we're going to set this over by the stove so it's ready for when we make our sauce. Now, I've got about a little over 3 pounds in here, and that's all right. That's what we're going to work with. My recipe calls for 3 pounds. I probably got like 3 1/4. That's okay. Instead of putting onions in here, I'm going to do my onion soup mix. So I'm going to put 2 good tablespoons of my homemade onion soup mix in there. You can use a packet, doesn't matter, or you can put onions in there. We're going to do about just a scant tablespoon of the garlic powder. And we're also going to do this is a 1/2 cup. We're going to do about 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. Okay? There we go. Now, we're going to do some Worcestershire sauce. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons. We're going to do a little salt. And a little bit of pepper. That's all we're putting in here. Okay, now we'll get it mixed up. I forgot my 2 eggs. We need to put those in there. All right. Okay, there we go. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to shape these in kind of an oblong patty. Okay. I got my Big Daddy pan. We're going to lay those right in there. Okay, I'm gonna get these all patted up. You got the idea. Just make them an oblong. And then I'll meet you at the stove to get these cooking. Okay, friends, we're gonna turn our burner on. We've got 9 beautiful patties in here. They're gonna be delicious. Anyway, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna brown each side first. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my mushrooms and onions in there so that it can finish cooking with the mushrooms and onions. Okay, we'll get these a flip. Beautiful. Those are going to be wonderful. Okay. These look nice. Okay, now I'm just going to put these all in here and let these all cook. And yes, I will turn them periodically. I'm going to let them all cook up. Get some of these rings broke up. This will be wonderful. I'm making an extra bunch of this because I have well, I don't like to say it, but some of this is going to go to an elderly couple in our community. And they're going to have a good meal, a few good meals with it. Got to take care of the elderly and the people that are alone. So that's why I made so much, because I'm only going to do 3 TV dinners with this. And then it's going to be dispersed. All right. Now, I got it turned down to low, to 1. Very low. So we're just going to let that, actually I turned it up on 2. We're just going to let that cook. Okay, friends, these have been cooking in here for a little while now. And I'm going to take the burgers that are done out. I temped them. They're about between 165 and 170. So these are done. I don't want them to cook anymore in here until I get the gravy in there. So we're going to take these out because these 4 still need to cook a little more. These are beautiful. Those are just going to set aside. And we're going to move these around. It's because my pan is so big on my burner. So sometimes I have to do stuff like this just to get them all cooked. All right, we'll put the lid back on that and we'll let them cook until they reach 165. These are finished. We're going to get these out and then we're going to make our beautiful gravy. Look at those. Those are beautiful. All right, those are just going to set aside there. We're going to turn this up because we want this to boil real good. I'm not going to add any butter to this. We've got some beautiful juice and flavor already in there. Okay, friends, we can start making our gravy. So I'm just going to move my mushrooms and my onions to the side of my pan. Get my juice out of there. Okay, we got that right there. Now, to that, we're just going to add 1/4 cup of flour. And we're just going to get this mixed up really well. There we go. that flour cook out of there a little bit. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to slowly add our beef broth. And we're going to add 4 cups of that. Beautiful. And we're just going to mix that till it gets nice and thick. Get our onions and everything else back out here. Once it comes to a boil again, it will thicken beautifully. And we got all the yummies off the bottom of the pan. Just keep mixing until it reaches your desired thickness. And if it's not thick enough for you, you can do a cornstarch slurry and thicken it up a little more. But this will thicken, and this will be divine. Okay, now that it's boiling, you can see it's not thick enough for me. It might be okay for you out there. Get off there. But it's not thick enough for me. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a cup of water, not a whole cup, and I'm going to put just a little bit of cornstarch in it. And just mix it up with a fork so it's all good and dissolved. Okay? And just start pouring it in there. And it will thicken. See how it thickens? See how that thickens up beautifully. And then you don't have the flour taste either. Some people don't like putting flour and they'll use cornstarch instead. That's beautiful. I'm only doing a little bit at a time. Because there we go. That I got it now. It's beautiful and thickened. Okay, now we're going to turn that down. And we're going to taste this gravy to see if we have enough seasoning in there or if we need any more salt or pepper. That's wonderful, but it does need a little more of both. I used my own home canned beef broth, so there's not a lot, there's no salt in that. Because we're going to put our burgers right back in here. Our little burger patties. And we're just going to let those warm up in that gravy. Beautiful. Look at those. And we're just going to cover that up and let that simmer for about 10 minutes. Okay, friends, these are all done. And what you say, we try a half of one. Mr. Wayna will not eat it. And I'll just try half of mine right now, and I'll have the other half later. Take a look, friends. That's going to be a beautiful dinner. All right, friends. We'll give this a try. Then I gotta have a big mushroom. Oh, I love mushrooms. Mmm. They're gonna love this. Oh my. Mm-hmm. Perfect. But you know me and my pepper. I have lots of it. This, friends, is delightful. Big chunks of onion. Oh my goodness, is this good? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Wonderful. That turned out fabulous. They're going to love that. Now, we just have to let this cool down, and then we can start packing up or assembling our TV dinners with all the goodies that we've made. Okay, friends. Now that we've got everything cooked up and ready to go, let's assemble these. This is going to be wonderful. We're going to do I think I'm going to do 3 of these, 3 of each to start with. There's 1. These make a nice meal. There's 2. Okay, there is 3 of the Salisbury steaks. I'm going to get all the entrees in here first. And we've got our meatloaves. Let's see, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to put 2 in each one. Yeah, that way they'll have a nice amount of meatloaf. And they'll have enough for another meal, actually. Perfect. Look at that, fills it right up. Okay, now we have got our beautiful, let me find a spatula. We've got our beautiful stuffed pork chops to go in another one. Gorgeous. All right, so we've got all our meats in here. Now, I'm going to fill these up. All of these are going to get potatoes. Okay. And I should have a plenty. All right. Oh, I got one last here. One more left. Okay, I got them all. I got a little bit of potatoes left. Probably enough to go with a couple of these leftover. I got 4 left, and those are going to get packed up as well. All right, I'm gonna put the corn in with the meatloaf. And let's see. I'm going to do the stir-fried veggies with the stuffed pork chops. Beautiful. Too many. There we go. Doesn't that look wonderful? Okay, and then we're going to do peas with the Salsbury steak. If I can get it open. I'll just pour it like I did with corn. Let me see if I can just use this last little bit up. There we go. Perfect. All right, friends. Take a look at how beautiful these are. Because I'm going to put a little dot of butter on these veggies. There's a lot of butter, and there is also cream cheese and half and half in the potatoes. So the potatoes aren't going to need any butter, but I want a little pat of butter on the corn. And these veggies. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so all we gotta do with these is put our lids on. Perfect. You can see on here, I've got sticky labels that I put on there to label them, and I will do that. I'll do that off camera, but I will label these and date them so that the recipients can just put them in their freezer and use them. So there we have it, friends. We got all these beautiful TV dinners done. This is a wonderful addition to your freezer. When there's only one or two of you, you can make, all your meals up in one afternoon and have everything to go for the next week, even your breakfast and your lunches. It's easy to do, and it saves you money. So there you have it, friends. I'm going to go because I need to deliver these. You all have a wonderful day. I will put all the recipes to these in the description box. I hope you give this a try. I know you're seeing behind me. You're going to say, is that smoke? That's my humidifier. You all have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video, friends. And as always, thanks for watching.